So let's get going. Let's get started. Absolutely fantastic. I do apologize about the small technical difficulties that we've had up until this point. I have no idea why the chat section doesn't want to work. This is really frustrating. I'm not sure why this is not. There we go. Yo, okay. Chat section just went mad. Okay, now everyone's messages are coming through. There we go. Yes, there's sound. We've got you. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, great. We going. Here we go. So first of all, welcome to tonight's session. For those of you who have never attended a session with me before, my name is Francois. I'm the Senior Analyst and Trading Specialist here at Smart Online Trader. And tonight I'm going to be discussing about the topic that is currently on your screen that says developing a pro trader mindset. So that is part of our entire session for tonight, and what I want to be focusing on, because of the fact that if we actually go into everything that a pro trader mindset consists of, I'm going to go through quite a few steps of things that we can look at, as well as what will assist you in improving as a trader. And I know we have some guests here tonight because, well, some of you were invited to this session that are not Smart Online Trader members yet. For all of you, I sincerely apologize about that little bit of a mishap in the beginning. I promise it doesn't happen every time. I can't say it never happens, but it doesn't happen every time. Okay? So before we do get started, however, I just want to have you all familiarize yourself with the risk disclosure on the screen. So what I'm going to do is, just for a brief second, I'm just going to take my photo off the screen so you guys can read it in full detail. So the risk disclosure basically just says that everything that I'm going to be discussing during this session is my opinion and should not be taken as financial advice. Okay, so now that I've said that, and now that we've basically covered all that, I can make this a slight bit bigger so you can all see me for a second. And then I want to ask a few questions. Okay, so when it comes to trading, I first want to start with my first topic or my first heading for tonight, which is titled Defining Working Hard in Trading. Okay, so my primary reason for calling it that, let me actually show you guys the slide as well. So there you go. So there you can see, defining working hard in trading. And my primary purpose for having a look at this specific topic tonight is, I have noticed in my time as a trading coach and in my time, working with clients, that because of what has happened or how you've been conditioned in the world to look at hard work, everyone has a slight misconception of what this hard work actually means when it comes to trading. Okay, so I want to ask the question, and obviously seeing now that the live chat is open and everything is running, I'm going to ask in this way: what do you believe work, if I can put it like that, what do you believe work is when it comes to trading? Okay, do you believe it is sitting in front of a chart for hours on end, entering trades? Do you believe it's market research? What do you believe is required from you from of a hard work aspect? Because remember, there is a certain amount of hard work required. Okay, so what do you believe when it comes to this hard work that is required from you as a trader? How can we define it? Let me know in that chat section. I'd really appreciate it. So pop me a message there and let me know what you believe work is defined as in trading. I'm going to give you guys a second to type me those messages. Okay, so Yulandi says that hard work in trading equates to time. So I'm guessing this is time spent within the market. Trevor says analysis and much patience. Lilani says endurance and consistency. And I must say that I'm loving these comments so far. Lilani also added market news check. Mr. Oosthuizen said research, Annette, dedication, and knowing the markets. Okay, cool. These are all very valid points, and these are all fantastic answers, and I must say answers that I wasn't fully expecting. I also have one here from Duncan that says, I believe to work hard as a trader is to never give up and learn from your mistakes. Duncan, what an absolutely amazing answer that was right there. So Ross also added, being consistent and taking time to improve your knowledge. Guys, you are absolutely shocking me here tonight. I'm absolutely loving these comments. I'm loving the feedback that I'm getting from you guys, because this is exactly what hard work is. And I can see who I've been working with in the last few weeks, months, etc., because it shows in your answers. And for those of you who are relatively new here, for those of you who had a different answer to some of the ones that I've read, for me, I have summed it up in this specific way. So hard work for me when it comes to trading, first on my list is actually waiting for the best opportunities. The second one is studying. The third one is following rules. And the final one is executing trades correctly. So we did have a comment that actually spoke about, adding patience, etc., etc. And I think it was from Trevor, analysis and much patience. So what I want to do is I'm going to, just downscale myself again here for a brief second, as I want to refer back to the Smart Online Trader LMS that is currently on your screen, and just utilizing this as part of your pro trader mindset. Now, as you all know, within this LMS there is 14 modules covering almost basically every aspect of trading, including the 9 Smart Online Trader trading strategies. And this is part of that first two, waiting for best opportunities and studying. And when we study, it's not just studying and building knowledge, okay? Yes, theory makes up a big part of our studying, and theory makes up a big part of what we are required to do on a daily basis, and how we actually build our mindset. And this, from here on forward, from here onwards as well, we need to study. I saw there was one about research. So this is research within the market. This is research with regards to news. And this kind of builds from there onwards. Okay? So again, getting back to what I was referring to when it comes to studying. So yes, we need to work through the LMS. We need to work through the content. But this is kind of a once, maybe twice you're going to do this. It's not going to be a daily thing that you are going to watch videos on different analysis and so forth. However, some of the actual modules, such as module 13 that covers trading strategies, this one we can focus on, and with regards to building our mindset and building that pro trader mindset as well, we can consistently focus on this, because this kind of becomes a requirement. Now, why isn't my page loading? I don't know why. Okay, and the reason why this becomes a requirement as part of your process is because of the fact that this consistently adds to your ability to sharpen your skills when it comes to your trading strategy. Because now you are consistently refreshing yourself regarding what is required of you and what you need to do to wait for that perfect entry. So again, going back to what I said with regards to waiting for the best opportunities and executing your trades correctly, as well as following your rules. This all forms part of that specific concept about continuously sharpening your skills when it comes to your trading strategy. Additionally, focusing on all the analysis that we share with you on a daily basis. Now, there's everything from the crypto analysis, forex analysis, daily market analysis videos. For instance, today, there was that specific session and video uploaded regarding today's producer price index report. This goes part of your studying, part of your learning. This is where the hard work comes in, is you actually putting in the time to watch those sessions, go through that, and then working through each one of those to ensure that you are on the right track, that you are heading in the right direction. And if you actually watched that video, for instance, with regards to today's market analysis video that was on the producer price index report, you would have severely benefited from the market. Okay, there would have been some extreme profits within your trading accounts. And the people who did attend the session, a lot of you have already sent me messages and emails, etc., sharing your results with me. And this was absolutely amazing to consistently see what you guys are also experiencing and how you are profiting from the market. And I absolutely love that. And I love receiving all those messages from you, as it really makes my life as a coach just so much sweeter. Second point, as part of the redefining hard work, is finding a strategy that you can execute with 100% certainty. And the reason for this is, if you have a strategy that you can execute with 100% certainty, this is way more valuable than a strategy that is more efficient. But even though a different strategy can be more efficient, if your ability to execute it accurately is limited. So in other words, you are only able to execute that strategy efficiently, consistently, some of the time. This can really hinder your ability as a trader. And this is where your edge as a trader comes in. And this is what, again, developing that pro trader mindset comes into work. Because why? Everyone always wants that strategy that has this super high win rate and is super effective and is always profitable. But that strategy that is always profitable, and I'm using the word always very, very loosely here, because no strategy is always profitable. But some YouTube videos and some Instagram traders might make you think so. They might actually make you believe that they have this beautiful, wonderful strategy that, never loses money. And you might actually believe that. But now you go and you try and execute trades using that trading strategy. And then you find out that yes, this strategy does work. But for some reason, and there could be multiple facets to this, your ability to consistently do this, and this could be due to a lack of time, lack of understanding, different market conditions, hindering your ability to execute your trades, family life, work life, etc., etc. As I said, there's multiple reasons for this. and this hinders you from executing this strategy consistently every single time, you are not going to be as profitable. Where if you rather focused on a strategy that has a decent risk to reward ratio as well as a decent win rate, but you also have the ability to execute this consistently every single day, every single time. If a trade presents itself, you are there, you are able to enter into that trade. Because why? This trading strategy actually makes sense to you. It is a part of who you are. It works with what you are, what your goals are, what you have set out to achieve. Does this make sense to you guys? Again, I just want to take a brief second to pause and just ask every single one of you, does this make sense? I do see that I have a few additional comments that have come through in the last few minutes. So I'm just going to read those comments out, as well as what certain people's definition of hard work within trading is. And then I wanted to know from you if everything that I have covered up until this point, does it make sense? Does this resonate with you? Is there a little light bulb going on at the moment that is telling you that there might be some changes that you need to make within your trading or your approach to trading? So some of the comments that came through earlier as well was from Lilani, that says, learning candles, online events with you. Oh, thank you, Lilani. I appreciate that. Doing the modules and more analysis than actual trading. Yes. By understanding your charts better, it automatically improves that ability that you have to understand and actually identify that perfect trade setup so much easier. Mr. Janse van Vuren also said, studying and dissecting trades and doing more research on strategies and just being consistent. On that topic, just something to note, because this is actually one person that I did speak to during this week as well, had this specific problem, and this is maybe just something to note with regards to that. When you research trading strategies, for instance, let's use the 9 trading strategies that we have available on the Smart Online Trader LMS that we personally trade here at Smart Online Trader as well. Under no circumstances do I expect you to trade all 9 trading strategies. It's physically impossible. You can't. Why? Because you can't focus on so many charts. You can't load all those trading strategies onto one chart, because, well, then your brain's going to overload with information. So when you do research on your trading strategies, and this is super important because you need to actually work through all 9 those trading strategies, and then from there you need to identify 1 or 2 trading strategies that actually resonates with you, that speaks to who you are as a trader, that fits to your personality, that fits to your type of trading, whether you are a reversal trader, a trend trader, a scalp trader, a day trader, swing trader, position trader. Whichever form of trading you want to do, it needs to work for you. I can't expect someone who trades support and resistance from highs to lows, so enjoying trading a trending market, so a ranging market, now expect that person to all of a sudden use a trading strategy that has a breakout method with regards to a trend orientated approach. It's not going to gel with who they are. It's not going to get them to that point where they are actually now making money. But I can show a reversal trader how to, for instance, use the Fibonacci strategy that we do have available on our LMS, where you use those retracement levels to identify those low points or high points to then enter into a buy or a sell trade. I do apologize about that. So that I can do. So this is where, yes, this is super important to research your trading strategies, but with the mindset, with the purpose that you are going to research that trading strategy in order for you to be able to find the one that is perfect for you. I know that was a little bit longer of an explanation that I probably should have given on that comment, but again, I hope that adds a little value. I hope someone had to hear that specifically, and this might be something that you are currently struggling with. Neil also says that start viewing morning reviews, analysis charts, placing trades, monitoring results, and reviewing results. Yes. So your pre and post trading routine, and I'm going to be talking about that just now, as well as your morning routine when it comes to your news, etc. And I mean, here at Smart Online Trader, we've made it so easy for you guys, okay? There's literally a news breakdown being shared every single day that covers every single aspect of the market with regards to news, with everything that you need to know from currencies, commodities, stocks, cryptos. It's all there for you. So you don't even have to go and look for it. Okay? It is provided to you. And just by providing that to you, you already have that information to your disposal. All you need to do is actually use it. Because if you don't use it, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, so some comments also that came through. Yes, makes sense. Brian says, thanks again. I'm guessing that's for the profit. So Brian, you're absolutely welcome. Trevor, but I also employ some wild speculative stabs and hopes for miracles. Trevor, we need to change that. That cannot be part of your pro trader mindset. There is no trade that we can enter into that is a shot in the dark. If you enter into a trade, there needs to be constructive reasoning as to why you are doing it. You need to be able to explain to someone why you are entering into that trade. Just randomly shooting in the dark is, well, going to randomly lose you money. Okay, it is difficult to trade during 8 and 5 because of work and commitments. Yulandi, this is very true. And this is why I said that you need to find a trading strategy that works for you. There is a lot of trading strategies that you can trade certain momentum and you can trade it after work. I know of a lot of traders who actually enter the majority of their trades between 6 in the afternoon. Okay, well, 6 is not really afternoon anymore, it's evening. But 6 in the evening and about 9, 10 o'clock at night. So during those 4 hours, that is actually when they enter into the largest majority of their trades. And they do this because, yes, they have to work every single day. So by spending time at work, they aren't able to enter trades during the day. So when they get home, they look at their charts, they do their analysis, they see what happened during the day, and then they react on it. As well as most of these traders normally don't like trading fundamentals. And this is part of their trading strategy because why? At that time of night, there's no more fundamentals that are being released. So they wait for everything to happen and then trade from there. As well as because it's going into the Asian session, plus they probably want to go to sleep as well. They have slightly larger stop losses, so it is more of a day trading maybe swing trading approach, and not so much scalping because, well, at that time, the daily market volatility has kind of died down. Okay, so I hope that as well helps a little bit, Yolandi. Duncan says it's like your own type of magic. Yes, if you have that trading strategy that is absolutely perfect for you, it is like having your own type of magic. That is absolutely such a nice way to put it. Thank you. Lelani says, I'm trading as you speak, just want to say. Well, I hope you're at least generating really good profits. So have at it. And, I hope you're making money. Moving on to our next topic for this evening, or our next part of developing a pro trader mindset, is key concepts in trading. Now, some of them we've already touched on because of the comments that have been placed in the chat section, and this always happens to me. Like, I have this really nicely set out plan of what I'm going to be discussing during the session, and then people will ask me questions, and because of the questions that I get asked, I kind of go off on a tangent and I cover topics that I was supposed to cover later in my session. So, but don't stop interacting. I really do love it. It's what makes my sessions so much fun is the comments that I get from you guys. And I want to ask, if you are enjoying this session so far, seeing that we're on YouTube, it's a little bit different from our normal sessions that we do on Teams. Well, this is our third YouTube session that we are doing now as well. So if you are enjoying this session so far, I want to ask, smash that like button for me. I would really appreciate it, as it obviously just boosts our views as well. Okay, so yes, I'm not gonna say anything further about that. I just want to see you guys smash that like button. I would really appreciate that. Moving on to key concepts within trading. So when we talk about key concepts within trading, we also have to focus probably on that most primary factor, and the most, I would say, highlighted part for me when it comes to a key concept within trading is understanding risk to reward ratios, and at the same time understanding success rates. So I'm gonna ask the question, and I really hope that you guys will answer me in the chat section. So here goes. Neil says quality is excellent. Neil, I really appreciate that. So here goes, and here's the question. In order to be a profitable trader, what is required from you as a success percentage? Do you require a success rate of 70%? Do you require a success rate of 80%? Do you require a success rate of 90%? Do you require a success rate of 30%? Let me know in the chat section, what do you believe? How is your mindset currently programmed with regards to your thinking when it comes to profitable trading? Okay, what do you believe your success rate needs to be in order for you to be profitable? Let me know in the chat section. I would really appreciate that. Okay, so the first comment has come through that says 40%. Okay, the second comment came through and said 16%. 60%. Yolandi says 15% per day. No, Yolandi, I'm not talking about your returns that you need to generate, and also 15% per day. That's decent. I know pro traders that can't get that right. So, but it's a good target to have, like absolutely fantastic. No, I'm talking about your success rate. So out of your trades that you place on a daily basis, how many of them do you need to have right? How many times do you need to be right? Trevor says 30% will do as long as TP ratios is large enough. That is like the lowest percentage we've gotten so far for this evening, which is 30%. Then I have my own standard is 80%. Neil, that is a very, very high standard to live up to. Then I have another 80%, I have a 75%, I have an 85%. Wow. I have a lot of, I want to go as far as to say overachievers in this session tonight, okay? Because I'm going to share a little bit of very honest truth with you here this evening. So, I've been trading for 8 years now. And I'm not to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty good at it. And I have done this to support my family. I have done this to, as a job, trading for institutions, trading for companies, and generating profits for these companies and institutions and everyone, clients, etc. And during all of this time, if I had to look at, well, not had to, I've done it, okay? If I look at my success that I have achieved and that I've actually maintained over a long period of time, I'm not talking about a few weeks or a month. I've had months where I had 100% success rate for the month. Okay, so yes, it's possible. You can have that 100% success rate for the month. And then the next month, I was only accurate for about 20% of the time. Okay, so literally the next month, lost 8 out of 10 trades. But consistently over a year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year period, my success rate ranges between 66 and 70%. Okay, so that's kind of where I average. And in saying this, I want to share, and this probably shocks a lot of you. I get that. And it's because of our programming. What has been expected of us by the world and how we define success. And this is the reason for tonight's session. Because trading is unlike any industry in the entire world. There is nothing like this. There is nothing that, well, there's other industries that will challenge you in a similar way. Okay, I'm 100% sure that the medical profession or even the legal profession, mining profession, whatever profession you're in, there is challenges every single day that challenges you as an individual. But there are very few industries that I have personally found and spoken to people, and I've had the privilege of having clients that I've coached, that have traded with me, that have been in multiple professions. I'm talking from doctors to neurosurgeons to lawyers, advocates, judges, engineers, etc., etc. And all of them have told me very similar things with regards to how trading challenges your mindset, how trading challenges your thinking on a daily basis, and how trading can make you doubt your ability to actually do this. And this is why I created the following slide, and I want to share it with you. So I'm gonna pop that onto your screen. I hope you can all see it. So at the top, you will see that there are 5 success rates, and you will see that I didn't go any further than 60%. Again, might shock a lot of you, but I wanted to use realistic figures. Now, if you do look at your screen at the moment, you will see that on the left-hand side, it also shows risk to reward ratios. And this is where your programming now needs to come in. So here you can see if we start at 1 to 1. So if you risk, let's say 30 pips on a trade, and you stand to gain 30 pips on a trade, then you require a success ratio of 60% to be profitable. Why? Because if you enter into 10 trades and you make $100 on a trade and you lose $100 on a trade, in 10 trades you'll lose 4, you'll win 6. That will leave you $200 in profit after 10 trades. If you up this a little bit and you trade with a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, now all of a sudden, instead of 60%, you only require a 40% success rate. Again, now you risk $100 on a trade, but on every trade that you win, you make $200. So out of 10 trades, you are going to lose, or accept that you are risking, or as part of your success rate, that 6 out of 10 of your trades are not going to work out. But this is perfectly fine, because the 4 that works out will generate enough profits that out of the 10 trades, you are again still $200 in profit. So, and then, even going slightly further, 1 to 3. If you have a risk to reward ratio of 3 to 1, you only require a success rate of 30%. And then from there onwards and onwards, up to a risk to reward ratio of 5 to 1, where you only require a success ratio of 20%. Now, as I said, my success ratio personally ranges between 67 and 70%. And my risk to reward ratio ranges between 1 to 2 and 2 to 1 and 3 to 1 as a risk to reward ratio. So now let's do the math a little bit on this. If I am trading with a 3 to 1 risk to reward ratio and I am 60% accurate on my trades, that literally means that out of the amount of trades that I'm now going to enter, and as well as how much profits I'm going to generate, your profitability automatically skyrockets just by you changing your approach to trading. And instead of focusing the entire time on the success of your trades and always trying to focus on having the highest win rate. And the reason why I am saying that focusing on having that super high win rate the entire time can be a negative thing, and as a pro trader, this can severely affect your mindset. And the reason why I say this is because what do we do as humans? What do we do as professionals? Not even humans. What do we do as professionals? Now, if you want to make trading profitable, or you want to be profitable in trading, you need to look at this as a profession. You need to look at yourself as a professional within this industry. Now, as a professional within this industry, what happens, and I'm going to ask the question because I would like to hear from you as well. What happens when you are wrong? What happens to your mindset when you lose a trade? Is it just like, nah, next trade and move on? Or does it affect you mentally? I will go as far as to say physically. Or how does it affect you? I've personally experienced with traders that the first loss, not that bad. Second loss, not that bad. Once they lose that third trade in a row, they want to quit trading. They want to stop what they're doing and throw in the towel. And again, it's just programming. If you understand what you are capable of and understand the figures behind your trading strategy and understand how coping with these losses based on your risk to reward ratio as well as your success rate affects your trading, everything becomes so much simpler. Everything becomes so much easier. So instead of being that hard on yourself, of finding a strategy, and this is now again going back to that comment that I had earlier from researching trading strategies. Now, I know I personally do this. When I research a trading strategy, when I look at how to apply a trading strategy that I want to trade, I don't just look at how successful is this trading strategy. If I do my back testing and I do it over a couple of months, etc., typing it into my journal. So as I'm going through the market, going back in time, seeing where I would have entered trades. If that trading strategy is 60% profitable, so if it enters into trades and those trades are right 60% of the time, that trading strategy for me is exceptional. That is in the win column and I'm going to trade it. But now I also have a look at every single time I would have entered into a trade, where would I have placed my stop loss? How large would my stop loss have been? What am I using to indicate my stop loss? Am I using a parabolic SAR? Am I using fractals? Am I using the relative, the average true range indicator? So, or am I basing it on a relative set amount? These are all options available to you. For instance, I know my scalp trading strategy has a very set figure. It never changes, but that is how the back testing was done, because it is able to do so. And then from here, what is your risk to reward ratio? Again, using that scalp trading strategy that has a set figure. My average risk to reward ratio on those trades are 3-to-1. But additionally, that trading strategy is also about 65% accurate. So now let's work that back into profitability. Now, I don't need to be 80% accurate. I don't need to be 90% accurate. When I lose a trade, who cares? Because I know it's part of my statistics. I know that it needs to happen. I know that this is part of my process. And that is part of building your pro trader mindset. Now, I would love to see some of the comments. I don't see any comments coming through on how you deal with losses or how losses make you feel or how they actually affect you. So I'm assuming that that's a specific topic that no one really wants to elaborate on. So I'm just going to skip over it and move on. Okay. So I do see here that Lilani says if you make $40 every day for 20 days, you make about 14,500 Rand extra per month. Little by little makes lots and success. Later on, you can trade higher and make $100 per day. 100%. So that is super, super true. Also, just see how that equates to your trading percentage-wise. Okay. I would love to just hear how that actually equates to your trading percentage-wise. But yes, aiming to make a certain amount every single month is a great way to get your trading going and getting your trading started. And also, building your confidence as a trader. Okay, so I see I have some comments coming through. Trevor says, as long as my balance is increasing, I'm happy. When it decreases, I'm not. But Trevor, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And how do we handle when our balance decreases? I mean, some statistics that I'm not even showing here tonight, to take it a little bit further. When you, let's for instance say you have a win rate of 60%. So on that table that I showed, literally the best, 60%. You do understand that you're not always going to, it's not always going to be perfect with regards to out of 10 trades, I'm going to lose 4, I'm going to win 6, okay? It's not always going to happen like that. Sometimes out of, let's say, 20 trades, you are not going to, you might lose, 8 trades in a row. So instead of, you're still going to win 12, which has your 60% success rate, and lose 8. But the market can be really funny about this. And you can actually risk and lose those 8 trades in a row. And this is also where your risk management comes in, because your risk management automatically affects how you react to a trade. And I always use the following saying with regards to, if you enter into a trade and that trade makes you nervous. So if you enter into a trade and that trade makes you nervous, your lot size is too big. Your risk on that trade is too big. You need to check what you are currently risking percentage-wise, because if that trade makes you nervous, then you are not ready to elevate to that specific level yet. So trade, challenge yourself 100%, but trade where it is comfortable and then one level up. But don't go trade, this is comfortable, this is a level up, but this is where you enter the trade. Because this is going to freak you out. This is going to make you, from a psychological point of view, make trading decisions that are dangerous. And this comes to my final point for this evening with regards to when you focus on trading. When you get to that point, we do one of two things. We either enter into a trade when we are not supposed to. And I spoke about it earlier with regards to focusing on that very, very precise entry. Now, when you focus on that very, very precise entry, you avoid FOMO trading altogether. Additionally, you won't exit a trade before it hits stop loss, or even before it hits take profit, because I've seen that so many times in the past as well, where traders go, they enter into a trade, the trade is absolutely perfect, their analysis is perfect, their setup is perfect, they entered into the trade at the right time, but they messed up with their risk management. The trade goes into a bit of a drawdown. It's not a bit of a drawdown, it's a serious drawdown. What happens? That trader gets nervous. He starts sweating, she starts sweating. And now what happens? You close the trade. And you close it in a negative. And shortly after you close it in a negative, that trade starts running in the direction that you want to go in, and now you see your trade working out, but instead of just patting yourself on the back and say, well, my analysis was good, I just should have stuck it through, all of a sudden now you start FOMO trading again, and you jump into a trade when it is probably almost where you said your first TP will be. And now you are increasing your risk on that trade. Now a trade that would have made you profits is a super risky trade. And now that trade doesn't work out. Why? Because you didn't enter or you entered originally when the setup was perfect, but you re-entered when it wasn't. And even further than that, now you overtrade. You enter more trades per day than your trading plan allows for. And this really snowballs very quickly. And before you know it, your trading account is beyond redemption. Your trading account is at a point where you can't fix it anymore. And the only way to get up again is you need to redeposit, which isn't really something we want to do. But it's a reality. It happens sometimes. So also manage your risk appropriately so that even when you go through a period of losses, knowing that your account can handle it. If you know that you are 60% accurate, trade with a 5% risk management, so a 5% stop loss. So when it triggers your stop loss, and again, my opinion, not financial advice, but if you know you're 60% accurate based on, quite some time of trading, 5% risk on a trade, more than acceptable. Why? Because even if you are wrong 8 times in a row, that's 40% of your account. Okay? With the 60% that is left, you can make the money back. Okay? Because what happens a lot of the times is after you were wrong 8 times in a row, you might actually be right 9 or 10 times in a row if you can stick to your trading strategy consistently. And your risk to reward ratios, you will be in profit after that. So, adding to all my points again, sticking to your strategy, sticking to your entries, and finding that strategy that you can trade consistently. Not just the one that has the best win rate, but you are only able to enter 1 out of every 5 trades that it presents. But that trading strategy that has a decent win rate, a decent risk-reward ratio, and that you can stick to consistently on a daily or weekly or monthly basis, however your trading strategy requires of you. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the chat section. I would really appreciate that. I do see that I have a bunch of comments that are coming through. So just wanting to go through them really quickly. So, when you're wrong, accept the consequences, but never give up. Learn from mistakes. But please remember how we execute with 100% certainty. You said you are here to teach us that. Please. Executing with 100% certainty means that you are focusing on your trading strategy, focusing on every single thing that is required of you of a trading perspective. I will touch on that in a second. I just want to go through all the comments. So I have a question here. Francois, ek is nou so bietjie die mekaar, jy praat van risk to reward en dan wys jy 'n tabel byvoorbeeld 4-1. Beteken dit vir elke rand wat ek kan maak? Nee, Willem. Okay, so Willem's question, when we talk about risk to reward and we talk about 4-1, it means that we stand to make 4 times what we stand to lose. So if I enter into a trade and I work out my stop loss and I work out my reward, so my reward is 4 times what my risk is. So if I'm risking, using your example, 1 rand, I stand to make 4 rand. Okay, hope that makes sense. Go back and analyze what caused the trade to lose. Very, very true. Super important, because yes, you need to write down your reasoning as to what caused your trade not to work out. But sometimes you will see that it was literally just a statistic. You would have been able to enter that trade. You will find nothing wrong with your execution, but it will still hit stop loss. And that 100% happens, and we need to accept it. Why? Because regardless of the trading strategy that we have, regardless of the edge that that trading strategy has, it is going to incur losses. Okay? Even though the entry was 100% right. Neil says, after the 5 losses on one day, I close shop till tomorrow. Very, very important, and that is absolutely awesome. So Neil, for instance, has a cutoff which is 5 losses on one day. So I don't know what his risk management is, but once he incurs those 5 losses, then he actually stops trading for the day. For me, that's 2 trades in a row. Okay? If I enter into a trade and I lose that trade and I win my next trade, then I'm fine, because why? My risk to reward ratio puts me in profit. Then I can enter another trade. If that trade doesn't work out, it's fine. I enter into another trade. That one works out, then I'm still in more profit. However, once I enter into a trade, let's say my first one generates profits, my second one loses, my third one loses. But I traded with a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. I'm still in profit for the day, but that's me done. That's me done with trading, and that's my point where I stop. So for me personally, it's 2 trades in a row, then I'm done. If I take a big loss, I stop trading for the day. Relax my mind, we'll see it tomorrow. That is a super amazing approach to your trading. Well done on that. On the other side of the coin is 22 out of 23 correct results on one day. That is absolutely amazing. If you had 23 trades and 22 of them were correct, that is fantastic results. But again, we need to be able to do that consistently. Okay? I love the emojis. What happens to me? I'm the master at closing too early. Gotta stop using trailing stops maybe. Yes. Why? Because depending on how you use a trailing stop, trailing stops can smother your trades. So yes, Trevor, I would definitely say to maybe revise your trading strategy a little bit and have a look. So still keep a trading stop. I mean, even my trading strategy contains a trailing stop, but my trailing stop is only once I'm at least 1/3 of the way in profit. So for instance, let's say I'm trading gold and I have a 20 pip stop loss. So that's $2. Once I am, and if I use a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio, that means I have a 20 pip stop loss and I have a 60 pip take profit. Once I'm 20 pips in profit, only then will I move my stop loss to break even. And then I will trail my trade all the way till it hits TP by 20 pips. Because why? That's my original stop loss. But I will never move my stop loss closer to my trade than was initially decided. So let me use that as an example. If I had a 20 pip stop loss to start with, at no point in stage will I make that only 10 pips away from where the current price is. Okay, hope that makes sense, and I hope that helps you a little bit. Mr. Westhuizen says, welcome Mr. Jan Buerta, and thank you for attending. Absolutely. Jan Buerta, welcome, and thank you for attending this evening. I haven't seen any messages from you, so I do hope that you are finding this beneficial. Lilani says, when will... Okay. What trading styles are... What trading style has a 5-to-1 profit ratio? Swing trading, day trading, scalp trading, not so much. Okay, so as a scalp trader, that you're not going to get 5-to-1 profit ratios. I would have definitely tried that by now. Okay, Because why? I'm a day trader slash scalp trader. So if there was a possibility to get 5 to 1 on scalp trading, I promise you, I would have tried it. But looking at, for instance, a day trade, you can have a day trade with a 5 to 1 risk to reward ratio. It will just be open for a few days. Okay, maybe in one day if you have a nice spike, but that day trade might run 1 to 3 days. From a swing trade point of view, absolutely possible. I had a friend, he's unfortunately not with us anymore, but that was his wheelhouse. That is where he traded. But he used to leave trades open for like 3-4 months. Okay, I don't have that type of patience. I don't have that type of commitment, and I'm very honest about it. Okay, I know I don't have that type of commitment, because entering into a trade and watching it go into profits and then into a little bit of less profits and then into more profits and then less profits and more profits and less profits and more. I don't have that. My blood pressure cannot take it. Okay, I don't have that type of commitment. I don't have that type of patience. I don't have that type of endurance. Okay, I'm a sprint athlete. I don't run the comrades. Okay, I was a 100-meter athlete at school, so I'm good at short distances. So again, finding a trading strategy that works for you. Okay, I know in every sport I have done, it is quick bursts of energy required to reach my goal. Running marathons is not my thing. So swing trading, not where I thrive. Okay, let's put it that way. So, but 5 to 1 risk reward ratios as a swing trader, more than possible. Okay. Okay, one thing to keep in mind, you always start in a negative and your trading strategy needs to align with that. Yes, that is very true. Okay, so Lilani wants me to discuss scalping in the next strategy, next trading session. I'll definitely do that. Always accept, even though you might have a 100% certainty, there will always be things beyond your control. Absolutely. This is why risk management is not negotiable. I couldn't have said it better myself. Okay, thank you for that. I'm actually going to copy that. Just give me a second. I want to screenshot that because I'm using that. I promise. I will give credit when posting this, but I am definitely posting it. What's the difference between scalp and swing trading? So scalp trading is when you trade very, very short term, normally on a 1 minute or 5 minute time frame, where swing trading you trade long term. You trade on a 4-hour daily time frame. Okay, so Neil says, fully with you. Neil, thank you so much for that. Trevor, thank you. Trailing stop strategy does make your your trailing stop strategy makes sense. Thank you, Trevor. But then do you actually need a TP? Yes. Yes, I need a TP. And I'll explain now why. If you're not sure how long it will run, not to trail it for infinity. Yes. So the reason why I still have a TP is because, like I said, I trade with the purpose of a 3 to 1 risk to reward ratio. Okay. So because now I've done my back testing. I know that on this specific strategy, getting to, for instance, let's use that gold strategy again, $6. I know I can achieve this 60% of the time. I know I can get to that risk to reward ratio. But now you have no TP. So now you consistently have this trailing stop. And let's now, for instance, say out of the 60% that I'm profitable, half of those go to my $6 take profit, but I didn't actually take profit. I had a trailing stop, and now it comes back and knocks me out at 40 pips. So that's my $4 trailing stop now. Now, instead of my strategy having a 60% success rate and a 3 to 1 risk reward ratio, now I still have that 60% success rate, but my risk reward ratio has now dropped to 2 to 1. Now all of a sudden my strategy isn't as profitable as initially estimated. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I hope that also answers your question. Always be mentally and emotionally prepared for when shit hits the fan. Being mentally and emotionally prepared is the best preparation. Absolutely. So I want to share one last thing before I answer Lalani's question that she asked a little bit earlier. So this is my little word of wisdom for this evening, which is trading is simple, but it's not easy. So to get your trading correct is simple, but it's not going to be easy. And why do I say this? And this is where I'm going to answer Lelani's question with regards to where she asked how to execute with 100% certainty. Now, Lelani, let's for instance use one of my favorite trading strategies that we have available on the Smart Online Trader platform, okay? Which is the trend chaser, the wave tracker strategy, not the trend tracer, the wave tracker strategy. So what does the wave tracker strategy consist of? It consists of EMAs, it consists of the ADX indicator, and it consists of parabolic SAR. And if you have traded with me, you will know that I traded with multiple EMAs. So I use 3 EMAs to be exact, which is my 8, my 21, and my 50. Now, for me, when all 3, my EMAs, are pointing in the same direction. So let's for instance say they're all pointing up. And we're trading on a 5-minute time frame, so scalp trading. 5-minute time frame, all of them are pointing up. What do I require now? I also require my ADX indicator to cross and be bullish. Now I have my cross and it's bullish. What is my third requirement? I need my parabolic SAR to be below my candles. If all 3 things are there, I can enter into my trade with 100% certainty. Why? Because this is what my trading strategy allows. This is what my trading strategy is made up of. This is where my success comes in. But I need to be able to have that confidence within my trading strategy to be able to apply this consistently. So yes, and the only way for you to get this is to backtest that strategy for yourself. Now, again, there's 9 strategies available to you. You can study these strategies, test these strategies, backtest these strategies. See which one works the best for you on the time frame that you would use the most of the time, okay? If you work mostly and you want to trade after work, I would recommend a day trading strategy. So, because by the time you get home, the volatility in the market is a lot lower. If you are able to trade during the US session, for instance, so let's say you get off at work earlier, such as teachers, for instance, scalp trading, brilliant. Why? Because you have access to the US session. So then that is a type of trading that you can look at, but the executing with 100% confidence has nothing to do with charts. And this is everything that this session was about. So this is my core message for this session, is that executing with 100% certainty has everything to do with your mindset. It has everything to do with how you approach the market, how you approach your trading strategy, how much confidence you have in your ability to abide by those trading rules that you have set out for yourself. Once you can get that right, your trading strategy will start working for you. Your trading strategy will start generating profits for you. I hope that makes sense to all of you. Trevor, thanks, I get it, but when TP3 approaches, I'm always tempted to let it run wild and free beyond. Yeah, when a trailing stops follows. Okay, cool. Traders, that is it from me this evening. I want to say thank you so much for joining me this evening, and thank you for being here. If you were invited to this session and you are new here, please email me. My email is guru, so that's GURU @smartonlinetrader.com, and I will ensure that whoever invited you to this will be notified that you are interested in our trading course and allow us to assist you in becoming a better trader. So again, thank you so much for joining me this evening. I truly hope that each and every one of you has found the session beneficial and this has added value to your life and as a trader. If as a newbie trader, I hope this was a great way to start. So thank you so much for that. Have a fantastic evening. Tomorrow is the last trading day of this week, so may it be a profitable one. And as always, may the pips be with you. Cheers.